I'm Russell Beard in Northern Ireland, exploring the latest developments in ocean power technology.
And I'm Darabi in Slovenia, where fishnets are back in fashion.
As our global demand for power increases, so does our pollution, with energy-related CO2 emissions expected to rise by 50% in the next 15 years. Now, supplying that increasing demand with finite and polluting fossil fuels is unsustainable, and the cleaner, renewable alternatives face criticism for being inconsistent. Now, the vast majority of our planet is covered with constantly moving oceans and currents, and that represents a huge potential resource for renewable energy. I'm Russell Beard in Northern Ireland to see how a new technology that magnifies the power of the ocean may be turning the tide in the search for comprehensive and cost-effective ocean power.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, really well.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for meeting us. So you're going to teach us a little bit about the tides.
Probably most people know that the moon plays some sort of a role on tidal changes and tidal water levels. I can draw a couple of sketches to explain this. So if we basically have the Earth just here,
right,
and we have the moon some distance away, somewhere here.
Yeah.
So what we actually have is two bodies which have a very, very large mass, and therefore they're actually attracted to each other through gravity. Now, because the Earth is actually covered with water, we find that some of the water that is on this side here gets attracted towards the moon.
Right.
And what we end up with is actually a bulge, an elevated water level over on this side.
That is a high tide here.
Yes,
is that right?
Correct.
The Earth's gravitational force pulls the moon around it, causing one tidal movement. But the moon's own gravitational force also has an additional effect on the rotation of the Earth.
Now, strictly speaking, the moon and the Earth are actually rotating around a common center of gravity, which is not quite in the middle here, but actually slightly off center here. What this part of the Earth experiences is the gravitational pull towards the moon, whereas this part of the Earth experiences centrifugal force. It's a bit like on a roller coaster going at a tight bend. The water here actually gets pulled out. So what we see is water being forced out here, and we get another bulge
Right.
over on this side.
Okay.
And as the Earth rotates, these two tidal bulges go around the Earth. So that's why we have a tidal period, as we call it, of about 12 hours and 20 minutes. So two tides, two waves, on either side of the Earth. So we know exactly when we get high tide today, we know exactly when we get high tide tomorrow, when we have them next week, in 1 year's time, or in 10 years' time.
Tidal power has huge potential as a consistent and reliable source of renewable energy, but conventional tidal turbines are big, expensive, and at present can only be installed in locations where tidal velocity is very high. But that may be about to change.
So this has got to be our man here. This is Anders Jansen. Now, he's the CEO of a Swedish company called Minesto. They've been working for about the last 10 years to try and harness the power of the seas. And I'd heard he was a bit of a kite enthusiast. What a beautiful day you've got. Hey, man, one-handed, all the tricks.
Minesto's underwater technology is based on the principle of flying a kite in a figure-of-8 movement.
When the tide comes, it creates this lift force on the wing. And by using this lift force, we can accelerate this kite with 10 times the actual velocity. And by doing that, we can produce much more electricity than if we were just standing still. So you want to give it a shot?
Yes, please, Ben. Yeah.
So I'm going to put it up and just release it, and it will go straight up.
Release what?
The kite.
What do I do?
Just hold still.
Kites have changed a lot since I was a kid. Oh man, here goes. Okay, oh, that's not so bad. Whoa.
Now you can feel all that power in every turn.
Amazing. Whoa. So you can just see it's really not a windy day. And it's the actual movement of the kite. That's what's creating the The power?
Yeah.
It's the way this power is magnified that means that Minesto's underwater kite can be used in areas of low tidal velocity, unlike any other tidal technology.
Oh, gosh! Just thinking about things in terms of the kite wing, and you said that there's a small turbine that's attached to this wing that you have underwater. You could imagine that as being like a miniature wind turbine, but rather than having it being a static place and expecting the force, the kinetic energy to come from the wind or from the tides, you're talking about maximizing that by actually moving that turbine through the water.
Yeah, and since the water is so much heavier than wind or air, it weighs almost 1,000 times more. And that means that we can get even more electricity out. This is our beautiful kite.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. The wing is really the kite. This is what we use to create the lift force to accelerate this movement. Underneath it here, you have the turbine, which is protected with this duct, both to protect wildlife, but also to protect the actual turbine. This is sort of the power plant. And then it goes down here. Down here, we connect it to a tether.
The electricity from the turbine is channeled through the tethers, along with data from the wing-mounted sensors.
Since we go for lower flows, we can be in much more areas. There's so much ocean, so we can spend our lifetimes and still we wouldn't have tapped into what the potential is.
So the locals must be quite used to seeing you guys walking up and down the street with this.
While still in the testing phases, this technology's already attracted a host of investors and a team of scientists from across the world.
Okay, you're not from Sweden, are you? You're not from Ireland. Where are you from?
No, I come from Chile.
From Chile?
Yeah, yeah.
The German, Chilean, Americans.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Yeah? Just leap on?
While they're still fine-tuning the technology, plans are already in place to build a full-scale system by 2018 that will power 8,000 homes.
Whoa!
No.
The team have a state-of-the-art floating facility in the nearby Strangford Loch, where they fly the kite come rain or shine.
Is that it there? The little one?
Exactly, that's the one out there. Yeah.
Right. You're home from home.
Home from home, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There was actually a seal bobbing its head up earlier. So there's a great deal of life out there as well.
We want to be part of the environment. That sort of is the goal with what we do.
Minesto carry out environmental impact studies before and during each trial, and so far these have shown no negative effects on marine life.
Okay, we're ready to go.
There she goes.
See away?
There, wow, man. Oh, mate, that's incredible.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my God,
You can
that's
see how
fast.
fast it's going. You can actually feel on this platform how you're going back and forth by the force of the wind.
Look at that. It looks like you've got a shark on the end of a fishing line.
That's correct.
A really big one.
Yeah.
How does that equate to real power?
So this is approximately sort of a large household, which is not that much, but that's not the point here. The point here is to get a solid technology platform that we can then utilize to scale up. And a full-scale 12-meter wing would sort of power up this whole little village that we see inside of it.
Wow, man. But the guys in there, they're controlling it and they're actually going to bring the kite up further to the surface so we can have a look at it as it reaches the surface.
Unlike other renewable technologies, which work only when the conditions are right, the underwater wing can fly whatever the weather.
Oh, there you go. Oh man, it's unbelievable, isn't it? So it's very controlled. I mean, no matter how choppy and windy it gets up here, down there it's remaining constant.
The long-term objective is to become the best at what we do in providing people with pure, reliable, predictable energy.
You're on the way.
I'm on the way. We've been on the way for quite some time and we're getting closer every day.
Reducing global carbon dioxide emissions is considered fundamental to safeguarding the future of the planet. But some of the biggest emitters of the greenhouse gas are power plants, essential to providing our energy needs. A team of scientists in Boston, USA, believe they have found a solution. They've developed a water-repellent coating that, when applied to a power plant steam condenser, could significantly reduce CO2 emissions. The coating prevents a buildup of liquid on the surface of the condenser's cold water pipes. This allows the hot steam outside to condense faster, creating powerful suction which pulls steam through the turbine, generating power more efficiently so less fuel is burned. The coating is now being commercialized by a startup called Dropwise, and they hope it could also reduce emissions at desalination plants and chemical refineries.
Nylon is a synthetic fiber, designed for its strength and durability. It's in everything, from clothing to carpets and even cookware. But like all synthetics, nylon is made from fossil fuels and doesn't biodegrade, meaning it's piling up in our landfills and even worse, our seas. I'm Darabi in Slovenia, here to meet the amazing people who are going to great depths to recover and regenerate this valuable resource. Here on the Adriatic coast, a group called the Healthy Seas Initiative are working with local fishermen to clean up a particularly troublesome kind of nylon pollution.
Jučer smo spustili mrežu u more, išli smo na večer dizati, tu mrežu smo išli dizati i neće gore. Zakačila je dole i šta?
So we're just gearing up a team today. We just jump in diving, try to help them to just pick up the net.
So let's see if we can get it back.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Idemo.
Abandoned fishing gear is a growing problem. Nets are lost in storms, snagged on reefs or wrecks, or even deliberately sabotaged by competitors. And when trawlers and other boats operate in the same crowded waters, they risk getting their nets tangled with each other. The hunt for remaining fish stocks is on, and the nets are collateral damage. The high cost of retrieving lost nets means fishermen often leave them behind. These abandoned nets are sometimes known as ghost gear.
Annually, about 640,000 tons of ghost gear ends up in our seas and ocean. And because of the oceanic currents and strong wind, we can find these nets in all the oceans and seas in our planet.
That's a big job to clean it up.
Exactly. That's why we try to engage the fishermen, showing that they can be part of a solution and not a problem.
So this is Vlado. Using his GPS navigation tool, not only does he know where it is, he's going to use his boat to help us retrieve it and get it out of the water. Vlado made a makeshift buoy where he thinks he lost his net. But with strong currents, it's hard to be sure until you get underwater.
You never can find a lost fishing net from the surface. That's a problem from fishermen.
That's why they need you guys down there. These nets are known as ghost gear because they can travel the ocean for years or even decades after they've been abandoned, indiscriminately catching and killing everything from dolphins and turtles to reef dwellers like this small poisonous scorpion fish. Today's net is 200 meters long, but some discarded nets reach a length of up to 10 kilometers. The team started off in the North Sea, but now have expanded to the Adriatic and the Mediterranean, hauling in a massive 31 tons of ghost gear in 2014 alone. Great for cleaning up oceans, but what do you do with all that waste once you get it on land?
In the past, we didn't think about what to do with the nets. So far, the nets have been sent to landfill or burnt. And just at a lucky moment in time, we learned that nylon yarn can be made out of fish nets.
In the Slovenian town of Ajdovščina, a yarn and fiber company has begun to see these salvage nets as a valuable resource. We're going to meet Mr. Bonazzi. He is the visionary behind all of this.
Good morning, nice to meet you. I'm Giulio.
5 years ago, Mr. Bonazzi's company started buying old nets from fish farms as far away as British Columbia and Pakistan. In 2013, they added Healthy Seas Initiative nets into the mix, and now altogether, they bring in thousands of tons per year. It's a lot of nets. Can you give me a tour and explain to me why you're collecting all these nets?
Well, basically, our company is producing man-made fibers, mostly based on nylon 6. Inside fishing nets, there is a high amount of nylon 6. Nylon 6 is a special plastic material because can be regenerated. Normally, a plastic material is recycled through remelting. So you take a plastic, you melt it, and you make a new plastic product. You can do it once, twice, but whenever you remelt a plastic, you downgrade it. In our case, we reproduce the monomer, which is necessary to produce the plastic polymer. So we produce a first-grade plastic material. This can be done an unlimited number of times.
A special fabric analyzing gun helps sort out the nylon 6 nets from any rogue materials. Then the nets are shredded, hundreds of meters of them each day. But nylon 6 isn't just found in fishing nets.
The nickname of this place is AKS, any kind of shit, you know.
Stored in this room is everything from carpets to textiles and plastic components to factory waste.
We recycle even the big bags, you know. So.
You even recycle the bags? Yes. If you hadn't come up with this technology, all these bags would just be sitting in a landfill. And you're giving all this waste a second life.
Yeah, you know, whenever you dump something, you pay. When you recycle something, maybe you get paid. So we transform a linear economical business model into a circular business model. So we try to close the loop, never to take anything from the earth crust, and never to dump something into landfill. I think that in 20 years, either we are sustainable or we are pushed out of the market. So, of course, to transform a company like ours that is fully dependent on fossil fuels, highly energy intensive, into a sustainable company, it takes a while. But, you know, we try every day to do a little better than the day before.
Most of the synthetic fibers Aquafil produce are still made directly from crude oil rather than waste materials. But they believe this could all change, thanks to a process the company's pioneering at this plant in Slovenia's capital, Ljubljana.
Here we have both the regeneration of the waste, but also the production of the yarn, which is our material, our product.
First, the nets are washed before being fed into the plant's reactor, where the groundbreaking transformation from waste to resource begins. Nylon 6 is a polymer, a chemical compound where molecules are bonded together in long repeating chains. The first step in the regeneration process is to break down those chains into individual units called monomers. This is done using a combination of high temperatures, high pressure, and a catalyst. This produces a liquid solution that's then purified to extract caprolactam, a basic building block of nylon 6. This is the only factory in the world where pure caprolactam is made from waste nylon on a commercial scale. The process is so secret that the company doesn't even hold a patent on it, as it would mean having to disclose its formula.
This is a breakthrough in all this process because thanks to this special purification, we are able to separate caprolactam from all the other stuff. So this is 100% quality caprolactam.
The caprolactam is then turned back into nylon 6 by relinking the monomers into a chain. It's then extruded as so-called spaghetti.
This is really, really exciting, and we are so proud because this product is indistinguishable from the virgin or the regular one. This is the final step where the yarn is produced. It's so loud, so we need the earplugs.
Despite all the energy that goes into transporting and producing it, the company's recycled nylon ECONYL has less than half the carbon footprint of its ordinary nylon. Last year, they produced 175 million kilometers of ECONYL, enough to wrap around the world over 4,000 times. And around a quarter of it came from fishing nets.
Okay.
So the full journey
Yeah,
finishes here.
but then starts another journey, which is the yarn transformed into beautiful products. We can make, for example, this kind of carpet. We have also swimwear.
You know, this absolutely blows my mind that this comes from those fishing nets.
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to make sure that the consumer out there knows about the story and knows about the journey that it went through?
So there are small brands, they are so excited. It took a little bit more time for the big guys, but now they are contacting us and asking, hey guys, can we cooperate together? Can we use your story?
Some of these companies are just jumping on the bandwagon now to sort of greenwash their image.
We believe that it's important to cooperate with them because they need to start. If we are able to supply them with the right yarn, with the right fabric, they probably will be convinced also in doing something good for themselves. Don't know, changing something in their supply chain or doing some actions towards the environment.
Aquafil believe that businesses need to become more sustainable in order to survive, and they're not messing around. They've invested nearly 25 million euros in developing their regenerated yarn, and now focusing on extracting nylon 6 from a growing range of sources. Over the next 20 years, they plan to transition their entire company to a circular business model.
Try to think about it. If you are more efficient and you save energy, you save raw materials, you make more money. It is not that either you do something good for the environment or you do something good for business. It is absolutely the opposite. When you are sustainable, your business is also more successful and more profitable.
We traveled to Peru to find out how restoring an ancient system of stone canals could help keep water flowing to the capital, Lima.
And I'm in Hawaii, the cryogenic capital of the Pacific, to meet a scientist working on a super cool solution to saving coral reefs.
Our hope is that our unique ability to harness technology will somehow save us.
We grow vegetables in a clean room that was used for semiconductor chips.